Yeah. Gotta film my generic spooky video special.
Fantastic.
Sit on the Slender Man's.
No, Slender Man. That's so like 2 years ago.
It's
Yeah.
so like
It's all about
sometime
that
early on in 4chan's lifetime when they came up with Slender Man.
It's all about that Sonic.exe.
That's a fantastic story.
Yep. It's in my top 10 creepy urban legends video.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Well, let's get this started then. I'll formally start the podcast.
Oh yeah, we should.
This is welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 74th episode of the Dapper Gaming Podcast for November 10th. I'm Ryan. He's Joe, and down there we got another Ryan.
Too many
Hey.
Ryans.
Ryan Stout of Ryan's Video Game Corner is joining us tonight to
I'm
talk
glad
the
to be here.
vidges.
Corner.
I came out of my corner just to talk to y'all.
It's a
over
creepy
there.
corner. It's scary.
Yeah, there's no sound or lights or just anything. It's very hot, but
How is it really hot if there's no lights?
Because it's like it's a corner with another corner, so it's just like an insulated box actually. So
Sounds sexy.
no, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. So what are we talking about today?
Well,
Video games.
video games
Oh,
mostly.
I love those.
Actually, half of the things that I found to talk about that I wanted to talk about, movies.
Damn it, Ryan.
I know, I ruined it. This is now the Dapper Gaming Movie Cast.
Oh, great.
The Dapper
I'm gonna-
Movie Viewing Cast. I don't know. What's
not gonna
the
be-
equivalent? Like, gaming is playing a game. What is watching a movie?
Watching a movie.
Yeah, but it's got to be one word. It's got to be like an equivalent.
Viewing?
Viewing?
There you go. Viewing.
There you go. Good enough.
How about movieing?
Dapper Viewing podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
close
there you
enough.
go.
So, I guess we'll start with what we always start with. What have you guys been playing as of late? These like last few weeks.
Who's going first?
Ryan. The
Which one?
the
You want
gaming
me to-
corner one.
Oh, well then,
Ryan, you
Okay.
can go last. You always have a million.
I've got very
Let's see.
few.
There's too many
Uh,
Ryans. I don't like this.
I'm sorry. It's what my mom named me, okay? It's probably what his mom named him. Or dad. Or both.
Mom, my dad wanted Bill.
Bill Beldesi.
Bill the Third Beldesi, because
Wow.
my dad's Bill, my grandfather's Bill.
I'm Joe the Third.
I don't have a number.
Little
fact.
known
fact
right there.
Unless there were no previous Joes and they just slapped a 3 on your name. It's like, yeah, that sounds pretty
It's
cool.
my actual name on my passport, and whenever I have to write it on a paper in school, it's just Joe the Third. It's my full name.
Nice. What were we talking about?
What
Oh,
video
no.
games
What
have you
games
played?
have you been playing?
Let's see. Right now, Destiny and Evil Within and a little bit of Sunset Overdrive. So,
Have you gotten very far into Sunset Overdrive? Because that game like consumed me for like a week.
I don't think I've gotten very far in it. Because what?
Is that game amazing? Or is it good?
There are
Is-
torn viewpoints on this, but as someone who's beat that game and almost completed it, I can tell you it's really good. But that first hour, like hour and a half, is rough.
I like it. It's good. I wouldn't say it's amazing. Like all the hype behind it and stuff like that kind of fell flat, but
Well, the game has
I
like a
agree.
lot of really good side content, I think. And that game gets more interesting as you get further into it, which makes it, if you haven't beat that game, it's hard to be like, to get behind that game being great, because it doesn't really show you that it's great until like 3/4 of the way through.
All right.
Because
yeah, I've probably put maybe 3-4 hours into it. I haven't done the multiplayer or anything.
the multiplayer is just the single player is where that game like really excels. But the problem with the single player is that they don't give you all of the movement mechanics like right away, which is probably good because then like you don't get confused. But it makes it really hard to chain together moving throughout the whole city to like get the ridiculous combos and start doing like the really crazy things. Because like until you have the air dash, you're pretty much fucked. Like you'll never be able to chain a good combo together.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have the air dash yet, but I like the cool thing about it is I don't feel like collecting stuff and like grinding all across the city. That's super fun. I don't feel it's like, oh, I gotta go over here. Oh, I gotta go over here. Like the just trying to creatively like I'm gonna bounce or run across this wall, jump on this, use my wrench or no crowbar, and then jump on the telephone pole and then like zip all over the place. That's super fun. And I like to, even though I'm just collecting like shoes and toilet paper and stuff like that, it's super fun to collect that stuff. And like helium mascot balloons and all sorts of things. So like
it was funny. It was funny because my girlfriend a few days ago, actually yesterday to be exact, was all like, I have to get this game. I want it so bad. And then just like before we started the podcast, she was like, I'm going to want to go buy some games tomorrow. And I'm like, you're getting Overdrive? And she's like, I don't know if I want to get it. What if it's just like a bunch of walking around? I'm like, I don't know if I have a weird feeling about it. So it's like, I wanted to get like a first-hand experience from some people who've played the game so I could actually know if I could recommend it being really good.
I can tell you right now, you have the option to walk around, but you'll just fucking die. Everything in that game, like, if you're on the ground, you'll get hit by whatever you're fighting, and everything that you're fighting can, like, 3-shot you. So.
And it feels like walking on the ground just feels a lot slower than just grinding and stuff like that.
It's really slow.
And that's kind of the weird thing about it. Even though, like, through them trying... The game is trying to get you to jump all over the place and grind and stuff like that. And it's almost like a hindrance of walking. Even though you run, and I think you can like boost. Can you boost run? I don't remember. But
no,
I know you can boost grind
do a
and
dodge.
Okay,
like roll, but that's it.
It's like through that they're like, don't walk on the ground. Don't walk on it. So you gotta do all the crazy stuff that we implemented in the game just for you. So
yeah, there's a part in that game where your character gets really messed up on drugs, and they think that the ground turns into lava.
So floor's all lava.
Yeah,
it's like when you're a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
That game just like really oozes style.
Yeah, I
think that a lot of people. Okay, that game, if you're gonna like sum up its style, is like mid-90s Warped Tour culture goes and kills EDM culture, and it's really great. Like, but if you're not like, I think that some people would find it. God, what's the word that I'm looking for?
Too in your face?
Yeah, there's a word for that though. It starts with like an O. I can't
obnoxious?
remember. Yeah, some people probably find it obnoxious.
I find the humor...
The humor doesn't get good until the last half of the game, when the game kind of gets like more comfortable with its style, and then the writing just really improves. Like the first part of that game is really not funny.
I'm kind of comparing it to Saints Row like humor, and but like to me, Saints Row has been, in my experience, Saints Row has been funnier to me than Sunset Overdrive so far. But I'm only at somewhere near the very beginning where it's like what is it? This one guy is helping all the preppy kids, or you're helping all the super rich kids, and that's where I'm at right now. So that's still probably not.
That's super early in the game. That's like the first quarter of the game.
All right. So
have you been mostly like collecting stuff?
Yeah, I'm mostly doing side quests and running around and doing all sorts of stuff. So, and that's one thing that sandbox games really do to me is like, oh, look at everything else. So
yeah, I really like how that game handles its main quests and side quests and challenges, in that you can just like take a main quest, go out, and when you like find a challenge or like a side mission, you can just do it in the middle of like a story mission.
Yeah, and I'm pretty bad at that. Like like the whole distracted from everything else. Like I remember Saints Row 3 and Saints Row 4, I finished all the side quests before really doing the main story. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I should, play the story or something. So, but
Sunset Overdrive has some like really good side missions. There's one that okay, so Insomniac made Fuse for EA. Do you know the story behind that?
It was supposed to be a cool game, and then it wasn't.
Yeah. So one of that game like made some really major design changes at like EA's request based on focus testing.
Yeah.
And so there's a side mission in the game where like a bunch of focus testing robots come out, and they're like, this game is a 5 out of 5. Best game ever. Games are fun when you win. And like you have to kill all of the robots.
Okay.
And like as you kill them, there's a bunch of really good color dialogue in there. And like I think at some point there's like a line that your character says something along the lines of like, focus testing fucking sucks.
I like that. Well, now I gotta keep playing just to run into that.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that game's got like, there's references in that game that only old people would really enjoy. While older people, like teenagers, wouldn't get it. For example, it's got like a guest appearance by Buzzo from the Melvins. And like when he came out, I was like, is that fucking Buzzo? And then he's like, hey, I'm Buzzo. I was like, what's he doing in this video game? No one would know who he is. Like, people my age don't know who the Melvins are because the Melvins aren't popular.
I just wanted to throw it out there, I guess.
It's a really good couple of missions, but I was like very surprised about it. I was like, this is such a weird person to like put in this video game.
Huh. Now I'm intrigued. Now I gotta go back. But I gotta beat, which I guess segues into my other game, is Evil Within. I gotta beat that, which is super good. So,
do you actually like it? Because like a lot of the people that I know don't, which I find strange. Like,
a lot of the people I know actually really like it, and then there's a few people who don't. It seems kind of torn.
It's like, I like it. The things that I don't like about it is the main character's voice actor is completely flat. Like is so everyone else around him, like all the side characters are really like, they emote and they really have good voice acting. And he's like, there's a problem here. I'm super scared right now. I better kill something. It's just like, I don't know. I forgot his the main character's name is something Castellanos, and he's so boring. He's such a boring character. But I have a gripe with that. And there are some times where some bosses, when you fight the bosses, is kind of like trial and error. And if you die during the boss, you have to, like, some of them have different phases in the boss fight. And when you die, you have to start at the beginning and try something else. And then if you get a little bit farther and then you die, start at the very beginning and try something else. So other than that, I really like it because the story is pretty interesting, and I'm just a fan of survival horror. And this is more survival horror than what Resident Evil 5 and 6 were. And
yeah, it's more of a Resident Evil 4 kind of look.
Yeah, and this is like, you really got to conserve your ammo. You really got to make your shots count. You really got to really be aware of your surroundings, and that's what I like about it. So Evil Within, I think is good, but I'm a survival horror person. So
yeah.
But and then lastly, I'm playing Destiny. So as I'm very disappointed that I'm still playing it.
This is the first week I'm gonna be able to say I haven't been playing Destiny.
Good.
I know.
We can all get on my level.
I am.
We can all jump on the same boat. That game is not good. There is so much wrong with it.
There are things wrong with it, but it keeps bringing me back. I don't know.
There's a lot wrong with it, and I still want to play it, and I still enjoy playing it.
That game reminds me of a bad Phantasy Star Online. I don't think that this marketplace has room for a bad Phantasy Star Online. I think that it has room for like a new Phantasy Star Online. Like
if they just bring
if
Phantasy Star Online
PSO2 came
2,
out here, I think it would do really well because it's actually kind of added new, like it's got enough content and it's just modern enough. Whereas like Destiny seems like the bad implementation of old Phantasy Star Online, and it just kind of lacks in. The game takes itself too seriously, so I find the game grating on me from a like I'm not gonna say narrative standpoint because there isn't one, but that game is too serious pants in I don't know shop vendor voices because that's about as much narrative as there is. And yeah,
did you ever see that? There was a picture going around where it was comparing Phantasy Star Online and Destiny.
They're the same fucking game.
Yeah, and I would, if Phantasy Star Online 2 came out in America, I would drop Destiny and jump on that in a heartbeat. Well, first, I guess I would have to actually get a PC and not a fake computer like a Mac. But I would have to get a PC and play Phantasy Star Online 2. I would totally do that. So, and that's where my life would go.
I really enjoy Destiny. It's a fun game, and it, like you said, it keeps bringing me back to it. But after realizing I have to make YouTube videos, and after realizing that I've put in over 190 hours into Destiny, I decided to take a break. So it's like the only reason that Zelda video that I just put out came out recently was because I took a whole week off of playing Destiny.
See, I think I managed to do like 30 hours of Destiny, and I got as much. And I kept just pushing myself to play that game. It was like, this is the content that I feel like I'm obligated to do. And then I got to that point, and I was like, you know what? I never enjoyed any of this game. Why did I play it?
Yeah, as long as I still don't think the $60 is a justified purchase for that game.
No, and you know what's really maddening? How little content those expansions have for $40.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. One raid and 2 missions. Yup, that's worth $20.
Well, and the
missions,
Xbox,
3 missions and a strike, and then the PlayStation gets another exclusive strike with it, and then it comes with the raid, a bunch of new weapons and armor.
Well, it's enough
stuff.
gear to get you up to more levels, but it's hey, grind out this raid just like you did the last one, and there's no promise that any of that content's good, and it's like. And now, because you get to a certain level point, like, it replaces the gear that you were getting. And so there's, like, now that you're going to be on to the second raid, the first raid will never be worth your time ever again. And so...
Yeah, but you got to beat the first raid to get to the second raid.
But it's easy.
True.
It's easy if you know what you're doing. I remember the first night I went through that thing where no one knew what was going on. That shit was hard.
Yeah, but now everyone knows it.
Yeah, everyone knows it. And actually that raid is still hard on hard mode because it's a glitchy piece of shit.
Yeah, I haven't attempted the hard mode because of just all the
hard mode raid craziness. Is like almost impossible now because of how glitchy it is. There'll be times where you like don't get teleported. There'll be times where like your whole team will get teleported, or the teleport team will be put in bubbles instead of the not teleport team. Or like you kill all the oracles and you don't get the perk, or you kill all the oracles and you still don't get the perk, or you still die. There's a lot of glitches with that final boss fight that still have not been fixed.
But yeah, and the thing is, what keeps me going back is that there's a group of 6 people, well, including me, that kind of keep doing this over and over again. So I'm fine with playing it with friends, and that's what keeps me going back, rather than, you know what, I'm just gonna, run around in Destiny for an hour or 2 by myself. So the things that keep me going back are people that still want to do the raid, and like some of the public events, not like the public events that happen on the planets, but like Iron Banner, the Queen's Bounty, those things. Make me want to go back and be like, oh, what's this new thing? So, and I probably...
So both of them were kind of crap.
Yeah. They're refixing they're fixing Iron Banner to come back.
Thankfully.
Yeah, and...
I don't think that those events are long enough. I think that's my issue with them. Because they're only a week, and it's like, I have no interest in playing your game for 10 hours a day. so I can't like progress through these events.
Like I don't want to play if it's only available for a week. I don't want to keep grinding. I have a job and I have other things to do, and I can't just sit down in the evening, play like 5 or 6 hours straight to get a cape that I want to buy or get a legendary machine gun that is available to purchase.
Yeah, but it's not even
ranking.
5 or 6 hours like in one session. It's like per night, because you like have to do these bounties, and the bounties you only get them once a day.
Yeah.
Like.
But yeah, I'm on the fence about the expansion or the season pass. I will not get Destiny 2. I was very disappointed that even though it is Activision, of course, it's like, oh yeah, Destiny 2 is in production, or the sequel to Destiny. I was hoping that it would be kind of WoW-ish, where they would just
that's what they implied.
Expansions.
That was the original plan that they inclined, that Destiny would have a 10-year lifespan and you'd only need the Destiny game and you could buy expansions.
And that's what I was excited about.
Obviously, Destiny is a piece of crap that doesn't live to the standards that people want, and there's no way that expansions can increase the game to a standard that they want without making a whole new engine and developing a brand new game.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that it needs a new engine. I think that they just needed to not support the last gen, because the last gen versions clearly hamstringed it. There's no that game has so little content and requires you to continuously go over the same content, but like that same content is too small. And when I say content, I specifically mean the maps. Like you're like, go out into this open world segment of the map, and it's so small that it takes you like 5 minutes, and it's like, this isn't a planet. This isn't interesting. But
and there's only 4 planets, or Earth, Moon, Mars.
5, or 4. Yeah, you're right.
There's 4 with a 5th one being added, and it's not even technically a 5th one. Not the next DLC that's coming out, but the DLC after that one is there's going to be a raid inside of the reef area. But it's not going to be like a planet with a patrol mode or anything. It's going to be a raid inside that area.
Yeah, whatever.
The only way that I'll get actually hyped for Destiny 2 is if it's more along the lines of something like No Man's Sky, where you hop on a plane, you fly into space, and you fly to the next planet. You can explore the whole planet any way you want.
Yeah, and they should make the ships useful rather than just like a trophy piece. Like, they made Halo Reach. They made ships in that game. They should do something with that. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's like it's a fun game. I enjoy it, but there's a lot wrong with it.
I think that the underlying part of that game is good. The foundation.
Yes,
shooting stuff feels really good. I like the character designs. Everything feels really tight about that game, but none of the content is compelling, which makes which means that it's garbage. Like, there's 30 other games that I can name that have good shooting, but have a story. I mean,
like the Halo Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, or something that seems to not enough people will play the new Wolfenstein. The Wolfenstein game that came out this year is the best FPS campaign I've played in forever. That game is fantastic. That's on my queue on my Xbox. My Xbox is already becoming a Steam box. It already has games that I bought. I've bought Wolfenstein, Metro, Double Pack, Strider, all sorts of stuff. That's just kind of waiting there. So Wolfenstein, I will get to that hopefully before the end of the year. It's really good. Like, I bought that at launch for PC and played it, and that is my favorite FPS probably. You can dual wield like every single gun in that game, which is fantastic. Plus, it's got really kick-ass Nazi robots. So,
can you dual wield rocket launchers? Is that a thing?
I don't think there's a rocket launcher. I didn't find one. But you're able to carry like 5 or 8. Like, you're able to carry all of the guns in the game at once, which is nice. So
okay, I'm super excited. Okay, and that's all I got.
Master Chief Collection comes out tomorrow.
It comes out in like 3.5 hours.
I know. And there's like
my friend's coming over tonight.
There's like 20 copies sitting in the back of the store that I work at since like Monday, and I just want to take them and play them all.
My friend's coming over tonight after the podcast, and we're gonna we're gonna play the Master Chief Collection because
I hate you.
it unlocks at 9 o'clock my time.
I don't have an Xbox One. I don't have an Xbox One.
You gotta get on that.
I need money and I need to pay off loans.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. My roommate and I are gonna go through the whole all 4 games co-op.
See, I never played the 4th one, but I think we're gonna start on the first one, and then
the campaign for the 4th one is really good.
Mm-hmm.
See, I didn't own an Xbox when they released the 4th one.
Oh.
Yeah.
I had sold mine already because I was like, there's no point in me keeping this. I don't play games on it. I haven't turned it on in a year and a half.
So now they're bringing you back.
Yeah, well, I only bought my Xbox One because I had a bunch of money that I wasn't supposed to have.
What do I do with this? I guess I'll buy stuff.
Yeah, I was like, fuck it. I have way less bills than I used to. It's because I had to move back home, and I was like, oh wow, I guess I don't have to pay rent this month. What am I gonna do with this rent money? Buy an Xbox. So that's what I did. Then I needed that money.
Xbox.
So it was a terrible idea. I got laid off like only a couple weeks later. So I was like, fuck. I would have never bought the Xbox had I known I was getting laid off.
But positive side, now you have more time to play your Xbox. There you go.
But I don't have money to buy games for it.
Positive side, you're about to make the next Flappy Bird. So.
Oh man, I've got so much stuff to talk about this week related to Unity.
I can't wait to hear it. It looks good. I saw the picture that you posted.
Major Space Laser is done from a programming standpoint. So.
Would that mean it's gone gold?
Prettier.
No, it has not, because I'm still waiting on sprites, and then Brian from the Oralnauts is going to finish up the sound.
Am I
bronze?
Am I going to get a diamond? Am I going to get a diamond version? I mean, am I going to get a playable version for the iPhone yet?
Maybe this weekend.
Yeah.
I might try to build one this weekend. It depends how things go. Major Space Laser's been Christina and I started making that game months ago, but now both of us, I got laid off, so I had nothing but spare time to do but program. And so it went from made very little progress to the point where it was just barely playable in 2 months to finished in a week and a half. I was like,
that's a lot of free time.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you don't put in 2 hours a week and instead put in 12 hours a day. Because I'm at this point now, I don't really play a lot of video games anymore. I'm too big. I have too many ideas for games that I'm just programming all day. I've got 3 games that I'm making right now if I include Major Space Laser. So I got a game called Major Space Laser. Then I got another game that I'm starting that it doesn't have a name. The project is just called Bounce. No.
Revengeance? Major Space Laser Revengeance?
It's kind of like Dive Kick, but for phones. So you're this bouncing thing, a bouncing drill. And when you tap the screen, you shoot to where you tapped, and you're playing against another person and you're trying to hit them with the tip of your drill.
Okay. Would that be on the same phone?
No, it's on different phones. It's got online matchmaking because Google Play Services will handle your network code for you.
Oh, okay.
And so it's still hard to do networking. It's just way easier than it would have been otherwise. Because I just have to basically take the information that was passed in during the frame, send it as a binary stream from one phone to the other, and then decode the binary stream and then play what happened.
Of course. Binary streams.
Yes.
Everyone knows. Yes.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I code binary streams in my sleep.
That would be really impressive because they're not really human readable because they're zeros and ones.
Yes.
I just have that gift.
But
the binary whisperer.
But yeah, there's basically I've been deving in Unity since I guess May full time, because that's what I was doing for work. Then my work laid me off, and so I worked for 2 months on this really awesome game. I'm not going to name the game because they released it, but after they laid me off, they changed the game just enough to completely ruin it. So
I mean, do you technically own those assets and stuff, or well?
I don't own any of it, but they also removed my credit from it. So
that sucks.
even though now this is the worst part, I pitched that game, designed that game, and was the only person who developed it. And then they removed my credit from it, and they made enough changes to that game to completely ruin it. Like it's so bad. There's ads all over it, even while you're playing the game, which in the first 30 seconds when I like started playing it, I was like, oh, there's an ad. And then it just got worse and worse from there.
So it's out right now?
Yeah, it's out. But I'm not.
What does it rhyme with?
I'm not going to promote that game. I'm mad enough about it. But what I did do this week was I completely remade the game, and I'm going to release it after Major Space Laser, but with a different name.
Okay, I like it.
So that's what I'm doing. They made me mad enough that I've remade my own game. It's really strange ripping yourself off, but I was technically allowed to do that because of the looseness of my employment contract.
All right,
so
there you go.
I missed everything that was said because I lost connection.
I'm remaking the game that I made for another company because after they laid me off, they ruined the game.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Screw that company.
Yeah, screw those guys.
Is that the Minecraft server thing people that you work for? Oh,
yeah. Okay. Man, real bad. It just sucks because like one of those guys was my friend. Like I was only working there because it was like his company, and they just like totally fucked me. So
yeah, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
So much drama related to that, to me being laid off. But yeah. So I've got 3 games that are coming out soonish. Hopefully. Well, one game that's coming out probably mid-December because our sound guy is leaving town for a couple of weeks, and the artist has left town for a couple of weeks, and they're like, he's leaving like the day after she gets back. So it's like, damn. But yeah, hopefully Major Space Laser will be out soon, and then I need to come up with a better name for alliteration, because alliteration's the most important thing when you're naming a video game.
Mm-hmm. It makes it snappy and catchy. It's what the kids like.
Yeah,
like
I'm torn
Major
between two
Space
names.
Laser.
I'm torn between 2 names. The game that I want to make, that I'm gonna like name it either Hookshot Harry or Chain Shot Cherry.
Hmm.
And I know. This is the game that I'm ripping myself off on. I can't use the other name, which was the best, but I also came up with that name, so that's also super frustrating.
What was that name? I mean...
I'm not gonna say it.
Just trying to get it out.
Put it in the Skype chat.
But yeah, so I guess besides making games, I played obviously Sunset Overdrive, because we talked about that. I played more Shadow of Mordor. I've almost completed that game. I got to the second zone. So
Is that good?
yeah, that game's really good. It's okay, that game would be like a soulless like Batman Arkham clone, but the Nemesis system makes it really compelling because you like build up this story around the NPCs that you are trying to kill.
Yeah, because
Like-
when they like, what is it like? When they kill you, they rank up and stuff like that.
When they kill you, they rank up, and when they kill each other, they rank up because
they
like
kill each other.
yeah. So they're like the Uruks. The Uruks are like the orcs in that game, and they have like smaller groups of like packs with each other, and they'll frequently battle the other groups of them. And so when they like kill another like Uruk captain or something, they like replace him. Okay. Because people are constantly trying to like kill their superiors to replace them.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
And so one of the things that game does is that it generates these side missions dynamically, where it'll be like, this Uruk Uruk is about to like execute this Uruk. But if you go there and kill like the guy who's like doing the executing, then this guy will live. And like now he's indebted to you. And so he'll like help you. So
very interesting.
And at the end of the game, near the end of the game, you get this branding ability where you can brand Uruks and they're like now on your side. And so you can like brand an Uruk war chief who are like the highest ranking, and everyone underneath them will help you. Like everyone who's allied with them, who's underneath them, will help you in fights and stuff. And so, but the thing is that you can't just like go brand a war chief. They're generally immune to it. So you have to like brand a lesser person and then like kill everyone for them, like on the way up to being a war chief.
Okay.
And then everyone below them will help you fight.
That
so
pretty cool. If I have time, maybe.
It's really good. That game also, like when you level up your character far enough, like the abilities that they get, that game ceases being like Arkham combat and gets like to something just different because of like all of the Wraith abilities. So yeah, I mean, people who wrote that game off as an Arkham clone, I think, are mistaken. They should probably take a good look at it, because it's basically Arkham meets Assassin's Creed, but it does like the part of those games better than those games do. Like it's more assassin-y than Assassin's Creed, and the combat is better than Arkham combat.
Now, speaking of Assassin's Creed, doesn't both Assassin's Creed come out this week?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yep.
Both of them at the same time? Rogue and Unity?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, they do.
Unity did something really stupid that bugs me. They released a trailer a couple weeks ago that really spoiled a big part of that game. Like, I was considering buying it, but now none of my friends are buying it, so I'm not going to get it because I wanted to play like the co-op part of it. But they're like, oh yeah, you go to World War II in this one. And it's like, what? They just like released a game trailer. Well, it's not a game trailer, it's like a cinematic trailer where they're like, oh no, the whatever the hell that machine is called, like simulation is breaking. Like try to escape it. And he's like running along rooftops, and then he like doesn't escape the simulation, and it ceases being in like revolutionary France to being in Nazi occupied France. And it's like yeah, and it's like, why would you put this out there in a trailer? Like, you've just spoiled a huge part of the game that like isn't the norm for the franchise. Like, in the franchise, you're always in the same time period. So why would you spoil this?
Yeah, that the more you talk, the more I don't like it.
Like, I like the idea
just
because
sell it.
like, is that a Sunset Overdrive shirt?
Oh yeah, I got it from work.
Oh, well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that game, so they've always talked about having the idea to go into these like more modern time periods, but that it wouldn't really work with Assassin's Creed. I mean, obviously
they said going to Japan with ninjas wouldn't fit Assassin's Creed. I think they're just stupid.
I don't know if it would fit.
How would being a ninja not fit?
Because the game's like really Eurocentric at this point. That
Well, that's dumb.
outside, like being outside of Europe, would make it kind of strange, but it doesn't matter. They've talked about how like more modern time periods wouldn't really fit because guns. I mean, guns change everything, especially when you get to the point where guns are good.
Yeah.
And like, so that really would kind of take away from that game's mechanics and would make it make a lot less sense. Like, how is this man with wrist blades killing all of these dudes with guns? Because like, you would get to the point where there's like guards and you would like assassinate someone and then they would just pull out guns and shoot you to death. Like, you'd start running and they'd just shoot you like that. But and so like this idea that they could take part of the game and do it in a different time period is really interesting, because it's a way that they can explore these time periods that they probably always wanted to, but without dedicating a whole game to it, because a whole game just wouldn't work. And instead of leaving it as like a surprise, they're just like, here it is, guys. Like in a trailer.
Still excited?
It's like you haven't excited me. You've spoiled me on your game. Like
Yeah,
this doesn't generate excitement.
I remember the first Assassin's Creed where, like, I don't even remember if they did anything to show that it was a simulation or.
They did not. That was not really known until the game was released.
Yeah, and that's what
unless there was some like text, like review, like interview talks where they mentioned it, but there was no trailers or anything where it showed that it was a simulation.
Mm-hmm. And now they're just like, hey, look at all these things that you can do. You want to go to World War II? Well, here you go.
It reminds me of movie trailers. Like, they've condensed down the game into 90 seconds, but by doing so, they've spoiled the whole game.
Yeah.
And, like, the worst part is that, like, with movies, they generally release, like, 2 or 3 trailers, but with games, it's like every 2 weeks they have to have a new trailer so that, like, they continue the hype train. Yeah. And at some point, they just end up ruining themselves because they have to put something that should never be in the trailer in a trailer.
I'm trying to think of, like, a similar situation with another game, but I can't right now. I guess the only other thing would be...
Well, I said they have, like, a 2-year hype train for games. Yeah. That's the issue. I mean, Call of Duty does the same thing, but no one cares about Call of Duty's, like, storyline. But, I mean, they put out a trailer, like, every month for the year.
The only thing that spoils Call of Duty's is, like, leaks and stuff like that. Like, oh, there's a new zombie mode in Call of Duty. Hey, we found that out. But it's almost like Ubisoft is self-spoiling themselves.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's bizarre. I mean, there's movies that have done that too, but...
We'll beat the people who leak it. We'll leak it ourselves.
All right. Joe, what did you play this week?
I've been playing some Super Smash Bros. Still playing it a bit. I'm enjoying it. I can't wait for the Wii U version, but I'm enjoying the 3DS version for now. Started playing Shulk since I have been extremely addicted to Xenoblade Chronicles lately. So really excited for Xenoblade Chronicles X. But that means I have to get a Wii U. But yeah, been playing Smash Bros. Smash Bros. Has been fun. I also picked up Professor versus Layton. Phoenix Wright versus Layton again. I got to one of the last chapters in the game, and then I stopped playing because of Smash Bros. So I picked it up and I started playing it again. I still haven't finished it, but I'm really close on that, the final trial. So that's also a really good game. And lastly, I've been playing the Ratchet and Clank Future series. I beat Tools of Destruction not that long ago. The game was great. Not as good as the second or third game, but still great. But this, the newest one, the last one in the series, Crack in Time, is probably better than all 3 of the original games. It's amazing. I really like it so far, and I'm not even that far into the game. So I'm definitely excited to play that a bit more. And I've also been playing Advanced Warfare, and I was watching my girlfriend play Pikmin 3 because she just got that too. And Pikmin 3 looks awesome. I haven't played any of the Pikmin games, but I'm really into them. They look cool and fun.
Pikmin 3 was really cool.
Yeah. Is there a multiplayer to that game?
Yeah, there is.
How long does it take to unlock it?
It should just be unlocked right away.
Oh, because my girlfriend was saying that you had to get to a certain point in the game to unlock it, and she's 6 days in now, and she's like, where is it?
I mean, I could be wrong. I sat down and I beat that game in 2 days. So
yeah, I'll have to look it up online or something and see what I can find. But
yeah, there's a couple different modes in multiplayer for that, I thought. So, but that game is really neat. I like its style. The way that they use filtering effects in that game are really strong for creating really realistic fruit and stuff. The environments look really real. Obviously, the Pikmin don't look very real because they're
I like how
colored people with leaves on their head.
I like how the strawberries aren't called strawberries; they have their own name. It was sunshine berry seed fruit or something.
Yeah, they do that with all of the fruits, which is really neat.
Yeah, that's cool.
Are the Pikmin videos out yet, or because I know they're supposed to be out on the 3DS and then the Wii U sometime this year, or are they already out?
I don't think they're already out, but I think they're supposed to come out in December or something like that.
Oh, December. Okay, I'm excited to watch those.
Yeah, I mean, like, they should hopefully look really good. If they look anything like the poster that they gave out for Club Nintendo, not last year, but like the year before, that poster, rad looking. So,
now
like,
the decision. What?
Like the poster, all of the like the Pikmin and stuff are all like vinyl figures, but then obviously just on like in the real world. So they like it looked really good. The lighting was really well done and
awesome. Now the decision is: do you get the 3D version, the HD version, or just wait until somebody puts it up on YouTube?
probably wait until someone puts it up on YouTube. I don't know if I would buy 3 short films about Pikmin.
I think it's like $5 for the 3 films.
Yeah, see, I'm not that into Pikmin. I kind of just want to see them eventually.
Okay.
All right, what else have you been playing, Joe?
Other than those things, that's kind of about it. Nothing too out of the ordinary.
Fair enough. All right, let's jump into some news because I don't think I have much else to talk about video game wise. I haven't played many games. I mean, I'm just going to play Master Chief Collection in 2 hours, 3 hours.
So we got to wrap this up.
No, we don't have to wrap it up.
Unless we
it doesn't release for another. It doesn't release for
hours.
another 3 hours. So
we can make the podcast last 4 hours. Then.
I mean, I could talk about like my top 100 favorite songs in DDR.
Yes,
that's all right.
And a paragraph explaining about each one.
I could join in with you, and we could have a good conversation on that.
Yeah, we could turn this into the Dance Dance Revolution hour, 3 hours.
The Dapper Gaming Dancing Podcast.
The Dapper Dancing Podcast.
That's all right.
Okay.
So, speaking of the Master Chief Collection, the Master Chief Collection will launch in a few hours from recording. It'll be out by the time this is posted on the YouTubes and on iTunes. But it's not going to have a playlist for the multiplayer for Halo Combat Evolved at launch.
That sucks.
Yeah, a little disappointed.
But Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 4.
They're gonna be adding it, apparently.
Halo 2 is all that I care about. Fuck Halo
1. No.
Halo 2.
So does that mean, because there was already like what a super huge extra downloadable patch,
20 gigabyte patch.
Yeah,
day one.
20 gigabyte patch. Does that mean that there's going to be another sizable patch? How big is this? This game?
Okay, so the reason why they have the 20 gigabyte patch is that it's all of the multiplayer stuff.
Okay.
Because they didn't want to do 2 discs for the game, and so they're like, well, if they have the internet, like, they can just download this stuff. If you bought the game digitally, then you don't have to worry about the 20 gigabyte patch because it just installs when you're downloading the regular game.
It sucks for anyone who doesn't have a good internet. I bought this game, but it's going to take 4 days to fucking download 20 gigabytes.
That's like that reminds me of Dead Rising 3, where it was a 30 gigabyte patch on whenever like the first season pass DLC came out.
Or how about a more reasonable, or well, not more reasonable, but more recent example? The Evil Within had a 5 or 6 gigabyte patch on the PlayStation 4 on release date.
I heard about that.
And if you didn't download the patch, the game ran at about 25 to 30 FPS, like 25 to 30% slower. And so it was like you lost like 15 FPS, and the game would run at like 15 to 20 FPS basically.
Wow.
Like the game was pretty unplayable.
Not everyone has good internet. This needs to be well known.
Yeah, but okay, so the thing is that this isn't uncommon. It's so not uncommon all the way back to the PlayStation 1. That's how. So the way that like a lot of these games get pushed through to I guess approval for release is that they make like a promise where they won't print the discs like without it anymore. Or at least that's how it used to be. Like back in the PS1 days, there were a few games that got released that had like game breaking bugs in them. There was a Tomb Raider game that did that, and basically if you found this bug, then the game would just crash and you would like lose your save because it would corrupt. But they needed to get the game released, and so they promised that that they would patch it, but that they would like in the future and stop printing discs that had the bug in it. And so they only printed like 10,000 discs or something with this like game breaking bug in it that they just hoped no one would find. And in this case, like obviously they would fix it with a patch on the internet. Now nowadays you get these games through for approval because you promise that you're going to patch it, but like the discs aren't going to be like reprinted. It's super expensive and they have to go to printing months in advance, like months and months and months in advance. And so if you have like a release date, you're not going to just like print new discs because you patched it since you started printing discs.
I guess it's kind of like a blessing and a curse, because now anything can be patched via the internet, but then we run into the problem of people who don't have internet.
We run into the problem of my internet's currently screwed and my download speed's only about 1.8 megabytes per second. You know how long it would take me to download a 20 gigabyte patch?
1.8 megabytes a second isn't that slow?
Or do you mean megabits?
Yeah, do you mean megabits or megabytes? Because megabytes are not the same.
Probably megabits. What is internet speed usually measured in?
Bits.
Yeah. Then it's 1.8 megabits.
Yeah, because a bit is 1/8 of a byte.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. I was like, 1.8 megabytes is like pretty fucking fast. Like, it's not super fast, but I mean, you could download a 5 gig patch in like an hour.
Yeah. And then also adding to the fact that there's other internet service providers that cap like download well, not download speeds, but cap the amount of information downloaded and stuff like that. So
plus bandwidth
yeah, they do that
caps.
Where I live.
Some people only have like 80 gigabyte bandwidth caps. You download a 20 gigabyte patch, that's like 1/4 of your cap gone already.
Mm-hmm. Just the American internet service providers are horrible. So yeah. And how about that net neutrality thing?
That's something that I was gonna also bring up, was that did you see that tweet by Ted Cruz?
Yeah,
that was pretty amazing. Net neutrality is to the internet what Obamacare is to healthcare. Or like net neutrality is the Obamacare of the internet, or something like along those lines. It's
who's Ted Cruz's? Who is he representing?
He's from Texas.
God dang it!
I'm pretty sure he was born in Calgary too. I think he was born in Canada, which is always really upsetting.
Oh yeah, it's Senator Ted Cruz from Texas. Thanks. You're representing everything that I want, Ted Cruz.
Yeah, like. So one of the issues about net neutrality, it's something I keep up to date on because it really greatly affects Canadians in that a lot of our network, like a lot of our internet, like gets routed through the US. Mm-hmm. Like at some point it ends up in Chicago no matter what you do. And
Chicago is just the end point somehow.
Well, it's that it's in the middle of the continent, and so Chicago ends up being like a lot of traffic gets routed through Chicago.
Gotcha.
Almost all of the traffic because I live so close to Seattle, actually I live as close to Seattle as I do Vancouver, almost all of my traffic gets routed through through Seattle. And so if American ISPs and American networks were to, let's say, cap to bottleneck Netflix,
have the fast lanes and slow lanes,
and Netflix didn't pay for it,
lanes.
let's say, for wherever my traffic gets routed through, then as a Canadian who can't even use your ISPs, I'm fucked. Because your ISP made a choice to, like, bottleneck Netflix. Like, what the fuck?
I really don't. And even Netflix and Google, and they're like, don't do this. Like, even companies are saying, please don't do this. But of course, it is the service providers. So your Comcast and your Time Warners and your...
One of the big issues is that at this point, the FCC, the head of the FCC used to be like the lobbyist for ISPs and cable networks.
Yeah, it's dumb. Politics are stupid. That's my...
Yeah, I don't know how anyone didn't view that as like a conflict of interest. Like, these major companies have paid you millions of dollars for years. You would totally not be biased about, like, their business, so let's totally put you in the place where you regulate them.
I mean, and of course this has been happening for years, so it's nothing new, but it's like, it's a big thing for people using the internet, you know, because they know who the bad guy is. The bad guy right now is the one that has the power, kind of.
Why can't we just get Swedish internet? Why not? I just want it so bad.
Because Sweden is a like way smaller country geographically and has got a dense population.
Damn it!
It's really hard in Canada, like in rural areas. I mean, obviously, same issue in the US.
Canada, or 90% of the content not being lived in.
It's kind of like Texas. It's a huge state. Not everyone lives there, except in Austin, where Google Fiber is going to be. And I wish I could just. Hey, I hate Austin. I don't live in Austin.
Oh, okay. You're not in Austin.
No, I'm not in the cool city. I'm in the not cool cities. So
you're not the not cool city.
Yeah, everywhere else.
You're part of the loner table.
So, but yeah, Austin. I know. That's what I'm just hoping is Google Fiber just does their own thing and keeps everything open, even though that would mean Google has to take over America, which I don't know how I feel about that. So I'm
not opposed to it.
I mean, Google is cool. I'm cautious about having a Google overlord. That's just cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, Google running pretty much everything on the internet in all of North America doesn't sound bad,
world, man.
It doesn't sound bad, but
I mean, like, if they own all the fiber net in North America.
Wow, that won't happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
It costs a huge amount of money to put down fiber everywhere. And I mean, it costs so much money to put down cable, like to run the internet basically, or just cable or phones, that's why there's such huge regional monopolies on internet in the US, which is insane. Like Comcast and Time Warner literally do not offer services competing against each other ever. Like across the whole country.
Did Comcast and Time Warner, did they merge?
I don't know if they did merge. I think they were trying to.
All I know is
I think it maybe got approved, which is insane because that's a clear monopoly, but you know, whatever.
Yeah. Well. Anyways, what else is new?
Jeez. Let's keep on this Microsoft train for a minute. Hey, we're going Halo, now we're going Battletoads. So Microsoft filed a trademark for Battletoads, which maybe hints at a new Battletoads game. I don't know why.
Which means buy all the Super Nintendo Battletoads games you can, because now you can sell them for more.
No.
Or now the jokes of pre-ordering Battletoads actually will hold water. So I don't know.
I don't understand why they would do it, only because I don't think people are that fond of Battletoads. Like, Killer Instinct kind of came out of nowhere, but it seems like a one-time deal. This doesn't seem like the Rare franchise to like bring back.
I guess they're just trying to, capture that lightning in a bottle again, because they're like, oh, Killer Instinct, people want that. Oh, it was a success. They're on season 2 now, and now I guess they're
I didn't
just
even like Killer Instinct. Like, I downloaded it.
The new one or the
new one. Well, any of them really, but especially the new one.
Mm-hmm. I guess it's just they want a good Rare game, and I wonder if they're going to get Rare to do it, or they're going to take the license or take the property and give it to someone else, so to develop. Because that was the thing, like with Killer Instinct, it was Rare's game, but they got Double Helix to work on it, and now they have Iron Galaxy working on it. So Rare didn't really. But then again, Rare isn't the same company as it was.
No,
so.
definitely not. It's a million different people now. Well, not a million, but it's pretty much everyone in that company is not the original Nintendo group anymore.
Yeah.
Now it's the Rare, the original Kinect Sports group.
And oh man, if they had a Battletoads Kinect game,
they put Battletoads in Kinect Sports Rivals.
Mm-hmm. And that was just the taste. That was the tip of the iceberg. So I'm calling it now. I would play it for the novelty because I think that's what a lot of people will do.
Thankfully, they don't have rights towards Donkey Kong anymore, so they can't screw that one up.
What? They could make a Grab by the Ghoulies too. That's the next one. What else did they? Jet Force Gemini. I'd play a sequel to that. I'd actually play a sequel to that.
A Cameo too?
I'd play it. Maybe.
Sure. Cameo is good.
So I mean, look at all these stellar franchises Microsoft can just use and give it to someone else, or make a Kinect game out of. Rare Party, where it's just all those franchises with motion controls, and it's a horrible thing.
So I noticed you're drinking Mountain Dew. Did you see Pepsi is doing Dorito flavored Mountain Dew?
What? Yes.
There is actually
I believe this is punishment for Gamergate. They're like, you know what? These people, they'll do fucking anything.
There's a college near me. I'm close to the Texas A&M college, and they're hosting on Friday a Mountain Dew tasting, and I think it might be there. So I'm wondering if I should go and try it.
If you have the opportunity, I can't think of a more stereotypical like neckbeard gamer thing than Doritos flavored Mountain Dew. In fact, I'm certain that this year's like video game awards, wherever they're hosted, probably the internet again, Jeff Keighley will be there, sitting in front of a giant poster with Master Chief and Doritos flavored Mountain Dew.
Hey,
and Mountain Dew flavored Doritos.
The Master Chief Halo 3 Game Fuel, that was pretty good. It kind of tasted like Nerds, the Nerds candy, just in a liquid form. I had some, and it was and they advertised it with more caffeine than your regular Mountain Dew to stay up all night in game.
See, my favorite.
I'm pretty sure there's a Call of Duty Code Red game fuel out too now, Advanced Warfare 1.
See, my favorite thing about that whole event was just seeing Jeff Keighley slowly die inside.
Yeah. There's a new video game awards that Jeff Keighley is doing, right?
Is there?
I think let me pull it up. Let me look in my news information machine here. The Game Awards 2014 debuts December 5th. A new independent video game awards show will take the stage in December, produced by former Video Games Awards host Jeff Keighley. So it is it's pretty much going to be Video Games Awards, just called the Game Awards. So
I'm sure it's equally bad.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a letdown. Instead of being let down in November, I'm going to be let down in December. So
see, the only big like video game roundup for the year that I ever enjoy is the week of like 4-hour podcasts that Giant Bomb puts out. They're They sit down and they basically debate which games get taken off this list slowly.
Oh, so
And
they're
people
they're in the debate process. That's awesome.
Yeah, they post like a 3-hour like podcast every single day, where they basically talk about which games like they can cut.
Oh, the Game Awards Advisory Board includes Nintendo of America president Reggie Fils-Aimé, Ubisoft co-founder Yves Guillemot, Peter Moore. Let's see, Phil Spencer will be there. So, esports players,
the people who own the games.
Yeah,
seems like a conflict.
I hope Eminem's there. You know, we like Eminem, right? Gamers like.
I don't know if Reggie should be allowed to hype up his own games
Rihanna?
And consult on which game should be Game of the Year, because ethics in journalism.
It's all about ethics.
Ethics in game journalism. It's all about ethics in game aesthetics.
Oh gosh, games journalism.
Don't worry. I guess I'll mention it now. Shane from Re-Res is coming back next week. We're putting on our serious pants.
I got my serious pants on.
I pitched the idea of him coming on the podcast and talking about. Oh damn!
Whoa!
I pitched the idea of him coming back on the podcast to talk about not Gamergate, but games journalism and some other serious topics, and then we accidentally talked about it for 3 hours.
Well, we should have been recording that.
Well, we were typing.
Oh, gotcha.
All right.
Games journalism.
Let's try to wrap up some of this news, because there is still a good bit. We're only halfway through and we haven't hit Overwatch yet, which we'll talk about last.
Oh, yeah.
So Telltale released a teaser about the Game of Thrones Telltale game series.
Sweet.
Iron from Ice. It's going to be 6 episodes, which makes it the longest Telltale series yet. Longer than both Walking Dead. What?
Do they do 5 episodes normally?
Yeah.
4 or 5. Depends on.
Season 1 of Walking Dead was 5 episodes plus a DLC.
400 days. 40 days?
Yeah.
Then Wolf Among Us and Tales of the Borderlands are both 5 episodes. So this one's going to be 6. And it apparently comes out soon.
Before or after Tales of the Borderlands? Because I'm still waiting to hear more information on that.
Probably before, because it was not announced before Tales of the Borderlands. They were announced at the same time, but it was like hinted at a lot sooner, and that people kind of knew it was going to happen.
Gotcha.
I'm going to have to wait until that whole series is done before I can buy it and play it, only because they've been working, like, Telltale has this issue where now they're working on so many different, like, games like that, episodic games, that The Wolf Among Us is a perfect example. It took them, like, 4 or 5 months to get out the second episode.
Mm-hmm.
And then another 4 months to get out the third, and another 4 months to get out the fourth, and, like, by the end of it, it was, like, a year and a half to get the whole thing out. And it's like, that's too long if you're gonna release like this.
Did they finish Walking Dead season 2?
Yeah, I think they just finished it.
Okay.
I think they also just recently finished The Wolf Among Us.
Yeah. Because there's collections out now for Xbox One and PS4.
They made Strong Bad's cool game for attractive people. I didn't know that.
I wanted to play that. I wonder if it's on Steam.
That's funny.
For the Mac. I'm going to check right now. Keep going. For me, because I haven't watched Game of Thrones, so like this will be something that I will definitely pass on unless I don't have to watch Game of Thrones or read Game of Thrones. Well, I bet I would have to read it at least to kind of understand what's going on. So,
probably because it has characters from the shit, like from the story, obviously, but it like runs alongside of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say because the Walking Dead stuff didn't really follow Walking Dead at all. I played the first season of Walking Dead without watching any of the TV show.
Yeah, but the Walking Dead game, the
game runs.
It exists because of the show, but it runs like completely separate of the show because it's supposed to be more like the novel.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, so like I don't know when I'll be watching Game of Thrones, so I have not hit that hype train. So
you should hold out as long as you can, because what happens is that you sit down, you watch a whole season, and then you're like, ah, fuck, now I have to wait every week for an episode.
Like, all right, then I'll just wait.
That's always the worst part, especially like in HBO shows where they'll do like 8 episodes, and then it's like, now I wait a year. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, but
I got my
I guess for Attractive People is $20 on Steam, the whole season.
That seems expensive.
Yes, came out in 2008. Wow.
Steam sale soon. Yeah. Like a month.
Christmas sales.
Woo!
I always end up spending like $100 during the Christmas sale, and I don't play any of the games that I buy.
You should just gift them then. You should just buy them and gift them.
No, I buy them with the intention of playing them. I just don't play them.
Okay.
All right, let's jump into some Nintendo stuff. So Nintendo announced a subscription service for amiibos in partner with Loot Crate to get 10 amiibos.
That's sweet.
Which actually like seems like a pretty reasonable deal.
Yeah.
They're $13 a piece. They haven't announced the price of the subscription though. So I mean, it could be ludicrously expensive, but I bet it's cheaper than $130.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to get those amiibos in the store because they're gonna be sweet. I saw a picture of what Marth looks like though. What they like originally showed Marth looking like and what he looks like now. He kind of looks like crap now.
Yeah, they seem to have taken like a real quality dive in when they were pitched versus what they manufactured.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm getting I know right when I found out that they were available to pre-order on Amazon, I pre-ordered my Fox one, so I'm waiting for that. So, and that's the only one that I really want, other than maybe the Duck Hunt one, if the Duck Hunt dog comes out.
I want Donkey Kong.
You should get it.
If it's a character in Smash, it'll probably come out.
Okay.
I mean, they've announced what's out. It's Falcon, Diddy Kong, Donkey Kong, Fox, Kirby, Link, Little Mac, Luigi, Mario, Yoshi, Wii Fit Trainer. I guess I have to get Wii Fit Trainer just for the lols. Animal Crossing Kid. I guess Villager. That's what they call him.
Yeah.
Samus, Pikachu, Icarus, Peach, and then Marth, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
is there a
cool,
Captain Toad one?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But it could work. Captain Toad could work with the amiibos. That's the cool thing about it, is that they're
adding they're adding support to games that were older. Like there's going to be support for Hyrule Warriors as well as Mario Kart 8.
Yeah. And then of course featured games like, I know hopefully if they go through with that new Star Fox game, then Fox will go with Star Fox. Oh, and Falco.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that they will make that new Star Fox game.
I don't know.
They showed it.
You cannot just announce a new Star Fox game and then be like, we're not making it anymore.
Didn't they say 2015 or 2016 as like a release for that?
But people were saying that like the controls were because
it's 2 years out.
Yeah.
They're like, here's a prototype.
So I'm hoping it's good. Of course, it is 2 years out. So, but as long as I can use my Fox amiibo, then I'll instant buy.
No.
All right.
Then if I can have a Slippy amiibo.
No. That's the only one you can have.
Okay. What was it? Rob 64 amiibo from Star Fox Adventures? No, wait, he was in all of them. What was it? I don't remember. Anyways, go ahead. I don't care.
So,
I would like a Rob amiibo just from Smash Brothers or Rob the Robot.
That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't he in the new Smash?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A little weaker than I wanted, but he's good. I'm just talking now. Go ahead.
There's a Monkey Island play.
A Monkey Island play?
Yes. In Germany, there is a company doing a play featuring Guybrush Threepwood.
That's awesome.
Does it follow the original story? Is this?
Yes, it's The Secret of Monkey Island play.
Okay. That's awesome.
It's in German, obviously, because it's in Germany. Little disappointed that I can't watch said play, because The Secret of Monkey Island is like one of my favorite games. It was such a big part of my childhood. It was one of the first games I played. So,
is it on YouTube? And has someone done subtitles yet?
I think it is on YouTube, but I don't know. I haven't watched it. It's something that came up this week. Ron Gilbert tweeted about it, and then I was like, "Oh man."
Because someone needs to subtitle that ASAP.
Yeah. So besides that, let's talk some TV and movies. The Evil Dead is coming back next year. New TV series starring Bruce Campbell. Yeah. It's on Stars.
Isn't it Ash versus the Evil Dead? Or something? I thought I saw it was something versus something.
Yep, Ash versus Evil Dead, 10-episode series.
Now, what is it being broadcasted on?
Stars.
Okay. All right.
It doesn't matter. I'm gonna just download it.
Please tell me you saw the Marvel crossover with Attack on Titans.
Yes.
Yeah.
That looks ridiculous.
I watched Attack on Titan. I don't think it's very good. I think it's okay. I'm going to continue watching it because I'm a man who is unemployed. So I've got nothing but time. But Attack on Titan is bad Evangelion.
Okay.
I enjoy it.
Statement.
I think it's a true statement. I think it's a fact. But it's truthiness.
Mm-hmm.
That's your opinion.
No, it's everyone's opinion. I believe in it so much it is truth.
No.
Truthiness.
I think
Your
if you
truth
yell
is a
louder,
lie.
then it will be truth. If you
Yeah.
yell
Then
at other people,
then it'll get beaten into you.
All right. So we've got a couple of movies and then Overwatch.
You also missed a Nintendo news.
What Nintendo news did I miss?
Majora's Mask.
Oh yeah, Majora's Mask. I'm sorry. I closed the tab that it was on because I had a video in it. Majora's Mask 3D. That moon is scarier now than it used to be.
I think it looks stupider. I don't like it.
Too spooky for me.
I would disagree. I think that it looks pretty good.
I never completed Majora's Mask. I was I feel Ocarina of Time was good to me, and I never finished Majora's Mask. So I think now I will have a second chance, a chance of redemption to try and complete Majora's Mask to its fullest. Because I know a lot of people are on the Ocarina of Time side, and a lot of people are on the Majora's Mask side.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm looking at a picture of the moon, and I just keep looking at that mouth, and I think it looks dumb.
Did you see the mouth that he used to have?
Yes. And I don't know.
They look.
His nose.
They look the same. You realize that.
It's like he's got a huge puffy lip now, and he's got these two like weird things that come down here. And his nose is also like humongous. But they can do a lot more round textures with the 3DS, so it's obviously not as pointy as they had to do in the N64 version.
Wasn't like in the old one, it looked like he was kind of gritting his teeth like a...
Yeah, he's still gritting his teeth in both.
There's a big gap, though, in the original one.
Okay.
It's like...
Because to me, when I saw it, it looked like the moon is almost like yelling at the planet. So... I'm gonna be there in 3 days. Just you wait.
Yeah.
Don't run away.
I don't know. It looks a little weird to me.
He always looked weird. That's why he's so scary.
Especially the huge nose.
His nose is the same size.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. I looked at comparison video.
I'm looking at it right now.
I looked at a comparison
pictures.
video that showed them side by side, and that old nose is huge. It's
That
like
old nose is super like this, and then the
yeah,
new
but if
nose
you've
is
seen it
like
from the side
this.
point, it like goes out like this, like it's as like
I'm not
long
talking
as his
about
face.
like how long, pointy out it is. I'm talking about how wide it is.
Mm.
It's like hugely wide. Like my nostrils do not go halfway under my eyeballs.
But you're not a
But
moon.
it's a moon.
That's great. Okay, you're right. I am not a moon.
His eyes look. It's almost like his face is bigger than his head, or it's not like.
Yeah.
If you think of the moon, the entire moon as an entire head, his face, like in the old one, because now I'm looking at a comparison. The old one looks like smaller. Now his face almost takes up the whole front side of his head. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like I like his eyes, but the nose and the mouth just throw me off. Like he's got this like huge, creepy. Like the stare is even creepier now.
You can now see even like moon gums, like the gums of his.
Yeah, you can see the gums in the original too, though.
Oh, okay.
Though
but now you can see it in somewhat higher def.
Yeah.
In 3D.
You can check out the gunk in his teeth.
Yeah.
In 3D. But yeah, I'm not insanely. I'm currently making a video on this for like Friday or Thursday, but I'm not hugely excited for it. And that's coming from someone whose favorite game is Majora's Mask. But I think that's mostly just because there really isn't much announced for it yet. They basically just showed a trailer and went, this is it. And then they had an interview where they were like, it's not a remake. There's going to be it's a remake, but we're adding in more new stuff and changing things and making it a better experience on the 3DS. So once they start announcing that stuff, then I'll probably be more excited. But currently, as it stands right now, I'd still rather play it on the N64.
Did Majora's Mask have a Master Quest version?
No, it did not.
Do you think that would be added?
That
Probably
would be
not.
Awesome if they did, but from so far, I don't think they're going to, because a Master Quest version would be a lot of work to do, because you'd have to remake all the dungeons, all 4 of them, and then probably change all the side quests too.
Well, it'd be cool if they did it.
Yeah. And I guess after seeing that fake rumored Wii U version, I just really wanted a Wii U version.
It's okay. You got Wind Waker. That's Wii U.
Hey,
Man,
I'm not a
it's
fan of Wind
really
Waker.
good on the Wii U.
Oh,
Yep. Wind Waker is one of my least favorite Zelda games.
that's my favorite one.
Me too.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay.
I don't know. Feels dead to me.
Oh,
Feels empty.
wow.
Yeah. I don't know. The most upsetting part of that game was when you open up Hyrule Fields under the water, and it's one tiny path that leads to Ganon's tower, and you're like, they could have done so much more down here. It annoys me that they cut so much from that game just to meet a release date.
Yeah, like that dungeon.
I've read a lot about that game, and there's not only just cuts to make a release date, a lot of cuts because of technical limitations as well.
But
it's really hard to design games for consoles because they are technically inferior to PC, and you just frequently run into issues with them, especially because we used to use old discs, and like CDs just have such a small amount of data that you can put on them. Like,
especially since the fucking GameCube used discs this small. Though it was the most powerful system of the time, it used tiny discs.
I don't think that the discs were proprietary. They were CDMs, weren't they?
Oh.
There was actually a mini disc format. It was just bad, and no one adopted it. So mini discs they fit in your CD drives on your computer. Like if you have one, like a full drive for like a desktop, you'll see it like pop out, and there's like that little divot.
Yeah.
Nintendo distributed I remember this very vividly. They distributed mini discs with Pokemon games on them for PC at Toys R Us where I live. And so I had like this weird like one-off Pokemon game on like a mini disc. But it was a strange looking mini disc because it wasn't like a circle. It was like a circle with the sides cut off.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah,
That's
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've seen those, and they're super weird. And then that talking about mini disc reminds me of Sony's mini disc player, which was the CD in a case, and I don't know. Anyways.
Yes. So there's a couple of movies, and then we will talk about Overwatch. So they've I don't know how big into DC you guys are, but they might. It's rumored that they have casted Harley Quinn as Margot Robbie, who was in Wolf of Wall Street. She played the like wife, the blonde one.
Yeah,
I think that's a pretty good casting for Harley Quinn. Also, when they announced Suicide Squad, I kind of thought that they were doing it in the same timeline as Batman versus Superman because Batman's like supposed to be older. So I assumed that Harley Quinn and Joker would have been like dealt with, because older Batman would have dealt with them by at that point. So they should have been in Arkham. So it's nice to know that Harley Quinn's supposed to be in the Suicide Squad movie because I didn't know that. Harley Quinn's like one of my favorite characters, I guess. I find her very strange.
kind of the Joker Harley Quinn dynamic, or just her in general?
Bit of both. But I'm hoping that Suicide Squad movie is good because that is a great property.
I'm just surprised at how both, and I guess this is talking about for stuff that happened earlier, like a couple weeks, but just how both of them are like, here's the movie list for the next couple of years, get ready.
I find that frustrating. That part was not
Here's
fun.
a bunch of movies that you'll be able to watch, but some of them you won't be able to watch until like 2020. It's okay though, you can wait.
Yeah, like at least in the case of Suicide Squad, it's 2016, and they announced it at the end of 2014, so it was like, wait a year. But in the case of like a lot of the movies that got announced, like there's supposed to be a standalone Aquaman movie, and it's in like 2018, and I'm like, this is so
but
dumb.
It's Aquaman, who cares?
I care. Aquaman is great. Aquaman is also one of the only people. Aquaman is one of the only people who can beat Superman.
Aquaman sucks.
Aquaman can summon Cthulhu.
I watched the old Aquaman cartoons, and they're horrible.
All of the old cartoons are not very good.
That is a lie.
That is the truth.
What was the one I watched?
Super Friends?
Yeah, Super Friends was awesome. Don't you laugh.
But I think I see the casting as good casting. I'm just, these movies are too far out. And now you kind of get an idea of, like, I don't know as much as the DC side, but on the Marvel side, you kind of get an idea of how things will fall into place, because now you have the major event movies like the Avengers 3. Oh, hey, we're going to be ending up here somehow. So what?
Well, I mean, they've already talked about how like the next Iron Man, or no, it's not the next Iron Man, it's the next Captain America is like the start of the Civil War line.
Yeah, which upsets me because Marvel still doesn't own the rights to Spider-Man, which means
or X-Men.
One of the huge parts of the Civil War storyline isn't going to be there.
Yeah.
Though the rumor is they're replacing pretty much Spider-Man with Black Panther, which works kind of, but
Wasn't
it's
there
still
like
upsetting.
a rumor that Sony would be willing to?
That's the rumor, but it's still not been said. And if Marvel really wants Spider-Man, they can get him. They just wouldn't be able to get the Sony actor, obviously. They'd have to have an alternate universe, different character.
Well, Sony already announced that they're like gonna reboot Spider-Man again because the reboot was so bad.
They just need to ask Disney.
They need to stop rebooting Spider-Man. Stop ruining my favorite superhero.
Marvel just needs to ask Disney for some pocket change and go buy Sony Pictures, and then there you go. We have the problem solved.
Or
Exactly.
they could just not buy Sony Pictures because Sony is Sony's been in such a terrible financial state for the last 2 decades that, I mean, who knows if Sony Pictures will exist next year.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. I'm kind of upset what they've been doing with Spider-Man, especially since like they announced that they were going to be having a standalone Venom movie with Carnage being the enemy during the movie, and then they also announced like Sinister Six and all this other stuff. Now they're going to reboot it again. So I don't even know what's going to happen yet.
What timeline? What universe are the Sinister Six and Venom movie? Are they in the Amazing Spider-Man timeline, or
that's what was supposed to happen? Amazing Spider-Man was supposed to lead up to Sinister Six, and Sinister Six would be one movie with all of them in it, which would be kind of ridiculous. And then there was also supposed to be a standalone Venom movie because everyone loves Venom. I don't even know if that's going to happen anymore. I hate Sony Pictures now. I hate them so much. But
I don't know what to say.
To put it aside, the Spider-Man cartoon with what's his name? The guy who played Drake and Josh.
Drake Bell?
Oh wait, no, Josh Parker. Yeah, wrong one out of the two. Yeah, he's doing the voice for the new Spider-Man, the Spider-Man cartoon that's on season 3 now. Season 3 of that Spider-Man cartoon is really good. So I'm actually really happy with that.
They should just have him play Spider-Man.
That would,
and
I'd be okay with that.
But yeah, Marvel movies, or just the whole lineup of, hey, here's the next 6 years of your life.
Yeah, here's a bunch of Marvel movies, but there's not going to be Fantastic Four, X-Men, or Spider-Man. You can deal with that, right?
Fantastic Four doesn't exist anymore, apparently.
Oh yeah, they
it's canceled now. It's completely.
Yeah. Well, no, they canceled it for now just because the movie company or whoever it was that is making a new Fantastic Four movie,
Fox.
Is they stopped the comics because Fox wanted them to advertise and stuff like that. They're like, no. So they stopped the comics for now. They will be resuming, but they're going to be canceled for probably a year or two.
All right.
So, mentioning the complaint about not having Fantastic Four, X-Men, and Spider-Man because Marvel licensed them off so that they wouldn't go bankrupt.
Yep.
I think it's actually a good thing. Now, here's why. So, if Marvel and now subsequently Disney had access to Spider-Man, X-Men, and like Fantastic Four, then we would never get like a Guardian of the Galaxy movie. There wouldn't be Iron Man movies because remember, before that first Iron Man movie, Iron Man was a B character.
Yes, he was.
Like maybe a high C grade character. Like people knew that he existed, but he was not like a primary character. He was not like one of the big dogs. And so since Marvel like licensed off so much stuff, we've actually got a bunch of probably better characters. Because like the X-Men movies are good, but I mean, how many Wolverine movies would Marvel have put out by now?
Yeah.
I don't know. Fox has done a lot. I don't know if you can do as many as Fox.
Well, it's when everyone
but if
Wolverine.
That's all... But, like, if Marvel was doing that, then they wouldn't be doing the other stuff. There wouldn't be Black Panther. There wouldn't be Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, none of this stuff would be happening.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy was so good.
Yeah.
I want it on Blu-ray when it comes out. I want to watch it 20 more times.
So, we've got one last movie here to talk about, and then we'll do some Overwatch stuff. So, this weekend was BlizzCon. They announced a bunch of stuff about the Warcraft movie that I'm actually excited about. So, they announced casting. Travis Fimmel, he plays Ragnar Lothbrok in Vikings. He's going to be playing Lothar, which is one of the Alliance characters. He's like the primary. He's one of the humans. He's like the primary human character. And then Toby Kebbell, who was in Rock and Rolla and a bunch of other movies. He's a British actor. Did you ever see Rock and Rolla?
No.
It's done by Guy Pearce. It's like Snatch, but different than Snatch. I'm assuming you've watched Snatch.
Mm-hmm.
If you liked Snatch, you'll like Rock and Rolla. But Toby Kebbell is going to play Duratan, who is like the primary orc character. And the storyline is going to be along the lines of like the first game in the Warcraft series, which was humans versus orcs.
Yeah, I was going to ask, was it World of Warcraft or is it Warcraft?
It's Warcraft. It's not World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft, the lore becomes too split that it would be fucking strange. Also, they're still building on that lore, and so it would be hard to do a movie on that because a lot of like the events of vanilla WoW still aren't, their conclusions aren't in stone yet. Okay. So like they're still building on top of that lore. And so by going just to the Warcraft stuff, which is like 100 years in the past already, then you're like more cemented. So, but besides that, they also released a couple pictures from the movie. So they released a picture of Keng Lane and they released a picture of Orgrim. So, who are both major characters if you know Warcraft. But
I'm looking at the posters and those look nice.
Yeah, I am actually pretty excited about that game because the like Warcraft story is really interesting. I really like WoW lore, I really like Warcraft lore. I loved the first 3 games. I loved World of Warcraft when I played it. Actually, the expansion comes out soon, so I'm going to be playing that again. But because they're returning to lore that I like in the WoW expansion. So I'm pretty excited for that movie. It has a lot of potential. Plus, they're like splitting the narrative between both sides, like 50-50.
Oh, that's cool.
Just to like not piss off all of the fans. Because it'd be like, they can't release a movie that's purely all like Alliance fighting the Horde, because then the Horde players would be like, what the...
What they can do is make a whole movie Alliance side and a whole movie Horde side if they wanted to really...
That sounds expensive, though.
That is true, but maybe they'll make this back.
Maybe they'll make this back.
Yeah, making the money.
And you release them at the exact same time.
Ooh, and then it's a double feature, so they walk out of one and then they go to the other one.
No.
Or you choose your side.
Yeah, exactly. And they give you like a little wristband, and one side has like the Alliance side, and the other side has the Horde side, and you turn it inside out or not. Which they do it like every single BlizzCon, and so like a lot of people that I know who go to BlizzCon, like they'll go and then they just like look at people's wristbands and like, I'm not talking to you, you filthy Horde.
With you. That's funny.
You mean filthy Alliance?
Shh. They're the good side. We like the Alliance on this podcast. Actually,
whatever.
I played both sides, which is dumb. My first character was Alliance, so... But that's before millions of people signed up for that game, and then the Alliance side ended up just being like a bunch of weenies. I was so disappointed when my side turned out to be the weenies.
The weenies.
All right.
So, I don't know if you guys watched the Overwatch video that I sent you, but I'm excited. That game looks fantastic.
The game looks amazing. I'm really excited for Reaper, and who's the other guy? Hanzo. Hanzo looks cool too, but I really like Reaper.
He's got a bow. I have to play him.
I like Reaper just because I've been playing Darksiders 2 a lot, so I can compare them. And I also like guys who dual wield, and he's the only guy I've seen dual wielding so far. Tracer does dual wielding too?
Yeah.
Sweet.
She's got
that was the one
pistols.
who can like rewind time after she it shows her like kill someone and then rewind all the way back to where she was.
Yeah, she goes back 3 seconds. She has an ability that puts her back exactly where she was 3 seconds ago. Like same place and the same amount of health.
I can't even imagine the coding for that.
Yeah, if this is going to be online, it's like a
it's like an FPS.
Yeah,
programming that
kind of thing
must have been a pain in the ass.
Probably.
No,
Like,
it looks really cool, and it has that Team Fortress 2 kind of vibe.
Yeah, but different
actually, I
in a
guess
lot of
programming that
ways
wouldn't be that
still.
hard.
Yeah.
I can think of an easy way to implement that 3-second thing.
Yeah, but you also have to think you have to deal with network encoding and LAN and
Yeah,
and,
but
well,
when the network stuff, you don't pass, like, not everyone tracks Tracer's last 3 seconds. Tracer tracks that. When they use the ability, they pass that information over the network.
but yeah,
I mean, it's
it's
not
like
trivial, but
Team Fortress 2 is cool. And this looks like it's trying to do what Team Fortress does, but in a lot of different ways to stand out from it and do a lot of things that Team Fortress doesn't. Because I hear a lot of people comparing it to it, and I can see where the comparisons are coming from. But it does a lot that so far seems different and should bring a lot of new stuff to the table.
yeah, like, they don't seem to have the ability to repeat characters, and so they have characters that have overlapping, like, roles.
Yeah,
and
because you saw like the hammer guy who was building stuff, but then there's that other chick who was building stuff too.
yeah, and then there was also the guy who's like a giant robot who can turn himself into a sentry turret.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Did you guys watch the cinematic trailer? The way that they announced Overwatch was like how you wish every game was announced. They showed like a 6-minute like cinematic trailer that was great looking. It was kind of like Pixar style. And then they showed a like 7-minute gameplay trailer, the one that I linked you guys. And then they did a panel about the game and they like answered questions.
Yeah, but Blizzard always does those super long cinematic sort of trailers.
But the way that a lot of other games get announced is that they get announced with a 7-minute cinematic trailer and then they're like, buy it in December.
Pre-order now.
Whereas Blizzard was like, here's a huge cinematic trailer, and now here's a huge gameplay trailer that shows you like all of these characters, and now we're going to answer your questions. It's like, you wish that games were announced like that, because it's like the cinematic trailer gets you hyped, but it doesn't tell you anything about the game.
Yeah.
And so like, I guess I'm not 13 anymore, so I don't get easily hyped on games that are just like, here's a cinematic. Like, I don't get excited about that. I'm like, that looked cool. Is your game any good? So
yeah, it looks pretty awesome. It kind of like, to me, it's like Team Fortress 2 style, but like the characters for some reason give me kind of a League of Legends kind of all over the place character design vibe, but maybe that's just me. But it looks cool. I'm super excited. And is the aren't there already signups for like the alpha or something?
for the beta,
Oh,
Yeah.
beta.
you can sign up the same
day
way
it
that
was
you
announced.
sign up the same way that you sign up for all Blizzard like betas. You go on a BattleNet and you go to the beta tab, and then
Yeah, you can also
Click
do
the
it on
checkbox.
you can go straight to the playoverwatch.com or whatever the website is, and you can sign up from there.
my webcam seems to have frozen and been frozen for quite a while. So there
Seems
we go.
fine on my end, unless I'm frozen.
I have two webcams. One that I
Oh.
use like when I'm recording the podcast. Like one is for Inside XSplit and one is for Inside Skype. The one in XSplit froze.
Now, because I'm watching the video again, will these characters be available on like both sides, or is it like one side?
I
One
think
set of
they're on
characters?
both sides.
Okay.
I mean, they haven't really announced a lot. There was a web page I tried to load up, but it like wouldn't load properly because I had too many tabs open, and the web page had too many like Flash Player videos in it. It's like, no, this is gonna just not work. But no, I don't even know if they talked about whether or not it's free to play. So
Do you
they
think it
did
would
say
be?
there's going to be way more heroes.
Oh, as more than what they have now?
Yeah, they have 12 right
Jeez.
now that they've like shown. but there's going to be more than that, apparently.
Do you think it would be free to play or no?
I have no clue.
Like, if they want to try to compete with that sort of Team Fortress sort of thing?
Well, I mean, if they go free to play, then it would have to be like the same business model as Team Fortress, where you're not. See, I don't think that you should be able to, or should have to buy characters, because I think that's pretty garbage. Especially if you've played Heroes of the Storm, you know that their characters are like $10 a piece, which is way too much. In League, it's only like a couple of dollars for a character. $10 a character for Heroes is too goddamn much. And if it was similar for Overwatch, then like I wouldn't want to play that game.
Yeah.
But if they go like the Team Fortress 2 free to play style where you have to buy like equipment, then that would also be kind of disappointing. Like, I would almost prefer a game where I pay like $60 and just get everything. Gotcha. Even though in the case of Team Fortress 2, it's more like you paid $20.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you pay nothing.
Yeah, you pay no dollars. You just wait for
it's
like
free now.
a couple of years, and then they're like,
yeah,
okay,
well, they gave you a bunch of stuff that you can't get if you didn't buy Team Fortress 2. For example, I have a hat that you got for the first Halloween event. You had to buy the orange box to have Team Fortress 2 for the first Halloween event. So, like, only people who bought the orange box had that hat. And so I wore it for the Halloween event this year because you'd be crazy not to.
All right.
Just to show off that you've been playing the game for years. You also got like a bunch of other equipment that they like gave to people who bought the game when it went free to play. But also, it's not like they went free to play like weeks
it was
after it launched. It was years. Like 4 years after Team Fortress 2 launched, they're like, okay, I guess we can be free to play.
Yeah, I guess we've made up the cost. Now we'll just, go free. And then add hats.
Well, they always had hats. They have some really amazing hats in that game, actually, that sell for like $500 plus.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a crazy game.
I don't know. Overwatch seems very fast-paced and really cool.
Well, they've talked about how a big part of that game's design is that it's not that the characters are supposed to play differently. So there are slower-paced characters designed for people who aren't super into fast-paced like FPS. But that there's also characters designed in that game who just don't kill people because like
like I assume they're meant to like be healers or assisters or turret builders.
Well, like one of the issues that they kind of cited one of the things that they kind of pointed to as an issue in like modern military shooters is that they push away people from the FPS genre who don't like to just shoot people because there's nothing else there except for shooting.
Yeah.
And so like Overwatch has a bunch of characters designed around doing things that aren't shooting. I mean, they showed off like 2 melee characters, didn't they?
I'm not
Wilson, the big ape.
Oh yeah, the big ape guy.
The guy with a hammer. Reinhardt or something.
Yeah, I'm looking at him now. There was also the what was it? The guy who floats and has the orbs around his neck.
Oh yeah, that guy looks crazy.
Oh, the like Zen robot.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. It was like Zen something.
Yeah, neither can I. And they showed off all those characters, and from what I had been reading, that there's in that main image from the main like cinematic trailer that they showed off, that looked like a Pixar movie. There's like an image at the end of the beginning clip, and it shows a bunch of the characters, and there's like 15 more in that picture that they haven't announced yet. So there's going to be a lot more characters coming out too, and they'll probably slowly announce them over time until the beta comes out. It's funny because I've been playing a lot of Ratchet and Clank recently. The beginning part of that Pixar type thing that they did really remind me of the Quark videos that he used to make, like the Captain Quark videos that would be through Ratchet and Clank games. I thought it was funny. I enjoyed it.
Well, I'm excited. Guess I'll have to go sign up for the beta.
I signed up for it like 4 days ago or something.
Yeah, I think they announced it on Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
All right, then. Let's wrap this thing up.
Yeah, wrapping.
We've got one last thing. I almost forgot about it. It's been such a long podcast. This is what happens when we take a week off. Everything happened like in the last 2 weeks, which is
There's
weird.
There's a lot announced, yeah.
Normally there's nothing. Ryan, what game or games are near the top of your games of the year list? What are you like really into?
Destiny.
As much as I like Destiny, it is not game of the year.
Yeah, I like it so much, but I don't think I'd put it on my list either.
I'm looking back here. I can't think of anything that I was really like super jazzed about. Man, I don't know. Sunset? No.
I think if you get farther into Sunset Overdrive, you'll enjoy it more because the game gets like more comfortable with itself. I don't think like Sunset Overdrive is like going to be at the top of my list this year, but I think it's going to make it only because there was a lack of good games this like in the middle of the year.
Could I say that I probably know what my game of the year is going to be? And it's going to be Smash Brothers for the Wii U?
That is shaping up to be very, very excellent.
Because I have the 3DS one, and I can't stop playing it. And just, I mean, even though the 3DS one is, it's not the full package. I'm a Smash Brothers fan. I like the way the 3DS one plays and running fully 60 frames per second and 8-player Smash. And I'm really holding out for the online to be good.
The online on the Wii U's been good for everything else I played. I don't see why they would manage to fail this time. Like, it was really good for Mario Kart 8, so...
It was good for Mario Kart 8, but I mean,
they got the back-end stuff that was so terrible on the Wii figured out on the Wii U. Like, they use actual friends instead of friend codes, and...
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the things that made Smash terrible on the Wii, like the online, got fixed when they launched this console, so...
Yeah, so I'm going to say, and it's probably a pretty safe bet, that I'm going to really enjoy Smash Brothers Wii U enough to say Game of the Year, so... I haven't even played it yet, and I'm already nominating it.
I'm going to probably... Well, it's probably going to be on my list, but I'm not sure yet because it's not out. Might be Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker.
That is looking really good.
I know. I am so excited.
I loved those stages in 3D World.
Same.
They were
so
really
fun.
great. And so that like dumb little downloadable game, it has me really excited, and there is no reason to be. I should not be this excited about like a small little mini game.
Yeah. And it's getting like a full release, like cartridge, disc and everything.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to get a disc version too because I'm like out of space on my Wii U. Yeah, I gotta start narrowing down my game list.
Yeah,
the problem is
same.
that there's like when you look back at like the stuff that came out at the beginning of the year, like I forgot this, but like the Banner Saga came out at the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
That was like the all hand like animated rotoscope game that a couple of ex-BioWare devs did. That game has like some of the best story and art of any game in like the last several years. So like I know that it belongs on the list, I just don't know where yet. And I mean, I played that game religiously for like the 2 days that I played it because it took me 2 days to beat it completely. But that game's great. And so like it deserves to be on the list. The question is where, because like a lot of good stuff came out at the beginning of the year. And like the new Wolfenstein game, that's fantastic. That's one of the best shooters I've played in forever. And I think that's largely because they just cut multiplayer from it. They're like, there's no multiplayer in this game. We don't need it. And like just did a really fantastic single.
Tropical Freeze came out at the beginning of the year too.
Oh, damn,
and
that did too. And that's like perfect. The platforming of that is super tight, but like really hard.
Stick of Truth.
Stick of Truth came out.
Plants vs. Zombies. Garden Warfare.
No.
Actually, I'm really fun.
Looking at my achievements.
Hearthstone came out this year too.
See what's coming. What I played.
Forza Horizon 2 came out a little while ago. That game's really fun.
Super Time Force. Wait. Maybe not Super Time Force.
Super Time Force was good.
Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls. I don't know if that's any good, but I know it's big.
That expansion leading up to it, they basically fixed everything that was wrong with Diablo 3. The console version of Diablo 3 is really fun actually. It's kind of like Gauntlet, like old Gauntlet. So, if you were into that, Diablo 3, I mean, it's got 4-player co-op, like same screen. So, that's a game that I'm thinking about buying just because I have people over like every Saturday night and we just play games.
Man, Kirby Triple Deluxe.
That game was apparently really good too.
It was. I want to play it so bad.
There's just too many games.
There's a lot of games. It's a hard life.
I'm thinking of buying a Wii U, but I really want an Xbox One. If I'm going to get a console, I have to pick one, and it's a hard choice.
If you're gonna buy one, I'm gonna have to say go with the Wii U because it's got games. The Xbox One's only got a couple of games, and like the most compelling reason to own it so far for me has been Sunset Overdrive, but like
the only thing
that's not enough to buy a console.
I love Halo though, so that's my problem here. Also,
but
Shovel
the new
Knight
Halo's
came
not out for a while.
Yeah, I know.
I hear Shovel Knight's really good. And
yes, Shovel Knight is amazing. That could probably be one of my games of the year, top games of the year. Shovel Knight was amazing.
I got that on Wii U. That's really good.
Oh my god, Shovel Knight was so good.
I still gotta play it.
Man, Sonic Jump Fever for the iOS, game of the year.
Major Space Laser, game of the year all years.
Is it going to come out by the end of this year?
Yeah, it has to. I don't have the money to not release it. That's one of the issues that I've been having. Is like, okay, listen, I just dumped like how many hundreds of dollars into this? I need to recover this. I'm broke. Like, we need to release this game.
There's a lot that came out. I'm definitely
going to be game too.
Is there going to be ads?
Yeah, but it's just one ad on the menu.
Yeah, I was going to say you should probably have an ad so you can make some money.
Yeah, also, well, it's got no in-app purchases, so.
Also, BioShock for the iOS came out. I have a feeling that was probably horrible.
Probably.
I heard the controls are really not good.
Probably.
I can't even imagine what it would be like on this thing. Also, Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright came out. That game is great. It's not as good as some of the Phoenix Wright or Professor Layton games, but it's definitely a good game.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Yes.
We will have to discuss more Game of the Year stuff probably every week until the middle of December.
Until the Game of the Year podcast.
Yeah. When I go about trying to gather 6 people to fight about what games they think are good.
Yep. Skylanders Trap Team.
And then someone says Borderlands 2 and I say no, and I just take it off the list. Because I reserve that right. I get to just veto things.
No, you don't. Borderlands 2 is great.
No.
Yeah,
no, it's normally a compromise. See, I'll be like, I'm getting rid of Borderlands 2. Pick one of my games. You get that one. And then I'll throw away that one because there's some games that are like popular that are just not good.
All right.
Borderlands 2 is one of them. That's not a good game.
Okay. Well, check back with me after November 21st, and I'll let you know if Smash Brothers is still on my Game of the Year list. And I'll probably say yes. So.
All right, then. That's what we'll do.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank you, Ryan, for coming on.
Yes.
Long podcast this week.
Can you give us a Ryan's Gaming Corner outro speech?
Oh, God. Okay. Okay, here we go. Well, this has been a good of fun times for yous and me, my whole body to have. And I hope to see you next time when my ma'am has me on the internets and does not look at the deviant arts all the time. And I hope to see you next time on the Flip channel. Bye.
Well then, there you have it. This has been the 74th episode of the Dapper Gaming Podcast for November 10th, and we'll see you guys next week.